So it's nice to begin again with this wonderful picture to remind you on this simple principle of the creation, to have always in your mind that principle of simplicity, and to try in your creations to copy that creator's principle. And most of that what I'm going now to share with you is about it, how to copy and apply it in practical creation, that simple principle of creation, that universal principle of creation. So we start now by the universal law accepted in the science, the so famous Coulomb law, which describes actually the same as a Newton law, attraction of the opposite conditions. Opposite attract each other. Both of those laws are the result of the sense deception and sense observation, and the real law in the universe, underlying law of the everything, is the same attract the same. We are here a group of the same people. That is why we are together. There is no discussion about it, nothing to argue about it. So that zero between opposite poles always exists, even by a bar magnet that is overlooked in the science, that in the middle of a bar magnet, this electric bar, there is a 0 point. 0 point. And as a result of opposite repel each other, same attract each other, both the opposite go far away from each other at the very ends of the electric bar, and you find them as far from each other as possible, and they say they attract each other. If they were attracting each other, they were meet in the middle, but in the middle is a 0, and they sit on the ends. I said, simple logic. How senses can easily deceive even such a big minds like Coulomb, like Newton. If the Newton sat with his apple, he saw apple falling down from the tree and said, gravity attracts from the center of the earth apple, and that is why apple falls down to the earth. So sitting down with that apple for 1 month would prove him the fact that the whole apple will disappear up in the heaven. And what is then the law? Is that the law same attract the same. Apple, an apple is a big potential, and an earth is also big potential, and big potential attracts big potential. So when that apple will be destroyed to the gases, then will be expanded and go into low potential, will be attracted to the low potential up. And that is why gases go up as a low potential, go to the low potential, and the big potential goes to the big potential. It has nothing to do with gravity. So the gravity concept in the science is totally wrong, and I laugh always when I read about quantum gravity. Gravity is. Gravity just is. You cannot add any attribute in front of the word gravity, like love. Love is. When you say I love only, I love you much, I love you more, I love you really. That is all. That's all mental masturbation. You can love or not love. Love more means relation. That's not state of being. Love is unconditional state of being. There is no more, no less, no any other attribute. The same is with gravity. So quantum gravity is a nonsense. It's a pure nonsense and a product of mental masturbation. So, science overlooked that fact that there is in the middle 0 point and accepted those laws as the valid laws. And we are going now to explain the real laws and why in simple words, and to show you how you can create simple with real laws. I think that you have accepted that why same attract the same and not opposite, because I have discussed about it in the presentation before. The secret of the creation lies in the wave. Octave wave or multiply, divide the stillness, the universal mind of the universe of the rest, into the waves, and there now octave multiply power to bring invisible light of negligible heat into visible intense hot suns of nebula. The process of creation you can explain simple like this. Cold, the invisible universe, only eternal reality, is absolute cold. Cold be heated by compression and created suns which are absolutely hot. So that which be then cooled by expansion in order to get back to the universe of the rest, and that is the cycle of creation. Cold generates, generation compresses, compression heats, heat degenerates, degeneration expands, expansion cools, and you have that cycle, cold through heat to cool to cold again. Simple. And both thermodynamic laws are totally invalid. Forget it. There are new thermodynamics laws, and I will give you by the opportunity those laws, but everything is in that principle that I have explained right now. And that is easy. We want to have it easy so that everybody can understand, absorb, and apply it. Not that the science is for some serious people who are so talented from nature and have such a talent to be scientists. Not, you know, there is an image of scientists. They are something extraordinary. Everybody can understand laws and apply in a life. It doesn't matter, because each and every one of us is omnipotent and omniscient and omnipresent. Look at this. This picture demonstrates it nice, very nice, the process of creation. You see, everything starts in the equatorial plane, here, equatorial plane, that is shown here in this picture. That is cathode from both sides, compression, expansion, and meet in the middle. When that meet in the middle, it creates here those rings in the equatorial plane, which expand back in the universe. First it creates the anode, and expand back in the universe, and creates again cathode and again compression, and that is the universal frequency. Very simple explain. And here, look at this here, equatorial plane. Here from this side, there is a 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs from both sides, compressive, expansive, and those 4 pairs unit 1, 2, 3, 4 from this, 1, 2, 3, 4 from this. And on this picture it is not shown when this here in the middle is matter created. Here is antimatter, which voids that matter, so that nothing moves here, nothing exists except for our senses, which perceive this part, not this part here, invisible, but mind knows. And mind knows that here also, here is matter created, here is the sun, carbon or any other incandescent element on the octave you can see on the top of the amplitude. But here, symmetrical from the other side, here somewhere, is antimatter. And it voids this matter. And here doesn't exist anything. It is valid for this piece of matter, like for this piece, like for this piece of matter, like for this, for any other piece of matter in the universe. The same principle. Matter, antimatter. Antimatter voids the matter, repeats it when it is voids, and records it, so that everything is existing eternally, not existing for the senses eternally, since the cause is eternal and infinite, and the effect is also eternal and infinite, just for the senses which perceive forward movement in the time, not the backward movement, which voids the forward movement, so that only eternal now exists. Time is an illusion of senses. Linear time. So that is a very, very nice picture. You will have then opportunity to a little bit meditate about it. So, 2 universes. We are living in 2 universes. Invisible universe, which is cause, which is unperceivable for the senses, which cannot be experienced through the senses, which can be known by mind. And divided, multiplied universe of the motion, which cannot be known by mind, but can be experienced by our senses. The senses deliver us information, and mind knows. And we as civilization progress now from the sense information, which are deception, into the mind knowing. So famous IT technologies, that is hit, that is wonder in this civilization. Information and technology. Everything is information. It is time, it's money, it's deception. So we go now out of information. We will come now into knowledge. And you will see how that, I explained that already, how it works, creation with knowledge. There are guys who were able did this to create with knowledge, and that was the first wrong premise in the science, not understanding the middle point, 0 by the electric bar, and the second premise, which was wrongly understood and brought the science on the wrong track, is not understanding the principle of creation and widening cylindrical coils. The whole civilization, all equipments everywhere in the science, in the electronic, in the technique, you have cylindrical coils. And cylindrical coils are inefficient, and that is where the banksters, J.P. Morgan and others, finally decided to get rid of the Tesla, when they understood that he knows how to wind coils properly, how to wind conical coils. And I will give you a little bit later part of that story so that you get evidence about it. Because it was dangerous to allow somebody to bring knowledge to people. It was hidden, still is. So, yes. Thanks, Professor Adams. This wonderful concept comes from the Saint Germain. I call him Professor Adams, and I'm really delighted. But I please you, before I continue with this, please stop finally thinking and accepting other reality as non-real and non-existing, and really start accepting and knowing with your mind that the divine side is present here and everywhere, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. And that all of those guys are alive. They live and they listen to, they are present here. I invited them. Saint Germain, Tesla, Walter Russell, all of them. So know that as a truth. Do not think more about them as a dead. They are not dead. Nobody can be dead. There is no death. We explained it. There is no only transition. So this wonderful concept. So on this concept you see clearly the process of winding, how to wind conical coils practically in order to get multiplication in the middle and to hit here, and to when the current will collide in those tools. You see here it starts here, goes here around and follow this here. From the other side, those are conical coils, you see, conuses here, conuses 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 in 4 focal points. And how to wind it on this side so that cathode will be divided and multiplied, and you would get here collision of the electric current in those, right? And get a heat, put here, can here put a boiler around it and heat the water and evaporate water and get transform it in electric current. Even more, you can put here in the middle a disc, metal disc, and hit that disc to incandescence and evaporate water more efficient, and huge amount of water create big pressure. And I had that some big turbine creating electric current based on a water vapor under the hot pressure. That is technology that is not known, that is existing today everywhere. And this concept can be successfully applied also on a big scale, means for the power plants to avoid atomic power plants, nuclear power plants, and to build those plants. There is nothing here what is dangerous, you see. Conical coils, windings, disc heating and creating electric current. But why it is not recommended to do it in this civilization now? Because we change now concept of in the new energy concept of the energy. We are not going to produce energy, huge amount of energy in the power plants and then transfer it to the final consumers and have losses and all other problems. The new concept in energy is producing energy at the place where you need it. No transport, no losses, no maintenance. So, but this concept is applicable for in the transitional phase for the small places with a group of houses and so on, and I will show you a bit later how it is possible to apply. Oh, go. Where is that? Here. So, this is from Saint-Germain, and this is Ilija. I don't take it from Saint-Germain and say you, this is me. No, this is he. He gave it. Okay, it comes to you through me, but it doesn't matter. Here is described, everything is details, how and why to wind those conical coils, and how to produce electrical current on the base of the heat that will be generated when the two coils meet in the middle and create heat. And that heat will be transferred into electric current. You keep it, you can read it and analyze, because I want to explain you how it will never happen, because there is a huge problem of the cooling by high temperatures of the coils. It must be cooled with liquid nitrogen or liquid helium and so on, and that is big technical problem. And by the way, the new concept is not building the power plants of a big megawatts, gigawatts and whatever, and then transfer it, but build it as much as it is needed in the practical life. So here, once again, and I come to that concept, is explained that what we were discussing about the so famous bar magnet. That is an electric bar, and you hear the source is always inert case. That is the cathode. That is point of stillness, and each point here, not shown in this picture, which is center of this ring, is the gravity shaft. From that side also, zero, centering here, inert gas, and there are 4 focal points, 1 pairs from both sides, meet in the middle, and this famous bar magnet has not only 2 poles at the end here, but has 4, and that is still not discovered and it's not measured. But it is easy to measure now, when we know that. Somebody will measure and show it. That's not big deal. But it must be there because of that principle of creation. And in the very middle here is a zero potential. Is the zero potential. And I explained in Hilversum how it comes into being and why some materials can be magnetized, and other materials cannot be magnetized. While iron is an element which is very near, if I go a little bit back, here, iron, I don't have here Volt or Russell's periodic chart elements, we will see iron is an element which is very near here, a very potent element. If you treat it with electric current, high electric current, what they do when they magnetize it, that high electric vortex will be memorized then, and potential of that iron will be increased enormously, and installment interchange between expansion and compressive vortex will last for a long time, for hundreds, probably 200s, 300s, or 400s, even 400 years, depending on the material and depending on the intensity of the applied electric current. That is what is called magnetism. It's a just electric vortex. So we go now forward. Explain that. And now so Now I come to that concept from the Saint Germain, conical coils, and how it can be used for a witness, for example, where some group of houses will be built, and then all of them can use this concept out and to have an independent source of energy. You must understand that the power plant is like a sun. Is our concept that is the copy of the nature's concept, is a big source of energy, power plant, any. And then that gigawatts or hundreds or thousands of megawatts, depends how big it is divided into smaller and smaller amount of energies and come here to this light and to those lights and to others as divided from that source, because that source, each of these cannot take the whole power of that, it will burn up. So the same is in the universe. So that huge energy of the sun is divided, and only part of that energy comes to the earth, otherwise the earth will be burned up. If there were no humidity in our atmosphere, there not water vapor, it will be burned up. So that is the way how it works in the nature. So we use now that concept in this here, on that picture here, to take, that is explanation of the power grid, why it is more out than more in. I come back to that picture to explain to you why and how it can be practically applied. Here, you have a group of houses, because each house gets one part divided, let's say 20 kilowatt, or 30 kilowatt, or 15 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt, depends. You have then some fuse, and you cannot take more because it goes off. It's limited for you, and it's a good so, because you don't need it. You don't need to burn your house. So, and then you use this concept. You have here one house, second, third, fourth, 10 houses, and take from these divided and multiply it here and produce for series of houses enough electricity, and close it then and cut off that input on the grid and producing your own energy there. Because you multiply it, that octave multiplication principle goes like this. 8 times 8 is 64, times 8 is 512, times 8, 4092 times you multiply it. In a practice, it means, okay, you would get some losses. You would get some losses here because of, you know, efficiency of this system, transfer of the heat into the electricity and so on. But theoretically, you can multiply 1 kilowatt from here into 4 megawatts. 4 megawatts. 4 megawatts. So such huge. Tell me.
For my explanation, what's in the center?
That's a coil. Wound, those windings around that core made of the iron here, in the form of the conus here.
All right, so it's an iron coil.
Of course, that's normal. That's normal.
But it's mechanical.
Of course, you must make winding. That is now schematically shown here, because when you start with 8 on the first place here, you start with 8 here on the cathode. You multiply here 64, here 512, here 4092. Always 8 times. Because it will not look like this in reality. This is schematic. In reality, this part here will be huge. Like by Tesla coils. You saw by Tesla coils on the big of the conus, you see that big one. And that was, Tesla knew the secret. I'll show you now. And that is why he put the big windings up where the potential was high, to pick up that potential. So for those who are interested, there is a little bit work there to make proper winding and to construct that everything properly, but it will work for sure. Now, there is no, just following that principle of winding, which is explained here in details. Everybody can take it. We will put it on the internet so that everybody who wish can make it. It's free. It's free. Thanks to that guy, Professor Adams, and to Ilija who brought it. That is in the books, of course. Never mind. I love this guy, my brother Nikola Tesla, and I will show you how he created with those laws of creation and what he applied, and how you should follow that also and copy him, or Walter Russell, or creational laws. It doesn't matter. So, look at this. This is double conical Tesla coil. And he experimented with it some more than 100 years ago. And since that time, our whole civilization is working with cylindrical coils. They took it from the Tesla. I will show a little bit later. And you will have the proofs. And they knew that Tesla was experimenting with this. You have here big windings in the middle, dividing the stillness, very thick, because the high current, you know, and at anodes, the right and left, Miguel, that's interesting for you also, right and left, you see here, high voltage, high frequency. That's what he created with his coil, as a big coil, also high voltage, high frequency oscillation, electric current. The same picture, just a little bit multiplied. That is the same picture, not shown but what is interesting here is this description. We have time, 5 minutes to read it. The above pictures are of a double coned coil I acquired on a buy, internet. The seller pushed it from the estate of a deceased FBI agent. So it was informed by one of the builders who owns a similar coil without the wires that it was designed by Nikola Tesla himself. The wooden frame he owns was given to his father by Nikola Tesla as payment. Tesla had no money at that time. Each cone is, and now comes interesting, 6 inches in diameter and 6 inches in the height. I explain you why. Tesla knew the secret of the octave multiplication principle. The base diameter of the base of the cone must be equal to the height in order to get that octave multiplication principle. And I explain simply here why. If you have a cube, does it work? Yes. It works. This is the geometry of space. You have a here cube, here, and here dividing look at this, and that is the base. So on the half here you take this, because it is always on the half of the distance, other cube, then on the half of this you have other cube, and on the half of this finally you have this cube, and you get finally this point. And when you close this, when it is AB, and when it is C, AB is equal, and it is 0, 0, C. That is based equal the height. And that is only only coil which satisfied that condition for the octave multiplication principle. I'm so glad to show you that Tesla knew that. That is a little bit calculation, the frequencies and so on, and the story about Tesla. There is much to share about that. Tell me.
What's the coil? What's it hollow inside?
Coil?
Yeah. What's it hollow?
It depends. Not you wind coil conical around some.
I mean the conical.
Yeah, of course.
It's hollow inside.
Of course, if it is coil, it's a conical. It's a hollow inside. Coil is a wire wound in a conical form, on both sides continued. No break in the middle.
No.
He means the core. The core of
The core was wooden. Did you see that? Wood isolator. The core around which you wind and define the anodes in order to have a fixed anodes was made by him out of wood. Good as isolate.
Oh, I thought metal.
No. If you go back, go back to the picture, you see that clearly. Wood. See. Here also wood. Look at this. That's a nice picture from Tesla's laboratory. He was working with a conical coil. You see that? Huh? Conical coil at that time. Wonderful. I love him. That's probably for all of you who are going to wind conical coils. You would have a problem how to wind it, and you can improvise it. That's like this. But if you don't succeed, ask me. I succeeded to make it simple. I'll share with you. But in any case, I found this is a simple to make a little bit creativity and find out how to really wind good conical coil. You know, look already, no? That's good. Okay, there are guys who try to calculate something on that base. They were on a good track also, learned from the Volt of Russell, probably from Tesla also, and made some calculation not knowing that in the middle is the sphere and not magnetic field, but never mind, many people are nearing to the truth and are on the right track, and we are happy because of that, because we want the whole civilization to make progress and prosperity, not only one land or some group of people, but the whole civilization. All of us are incarnated angels, brothers and sisters, and we love each other, and we love prosperity of all of us. Look at this, conical way, and up at the top, big, many windings. Tesla knew the secret, highest potential, and put the coils to make induction there and to generate high frequency and high voltage at that time, unbelievable high. Original sketch from the Tesla, made in the form of the conus, and he knew also when the conus is when the big angle here and the small and the peak, then the multiplication is even higher. You don't know, because you can experiment with it. That is the modern here nowadays time, the same construction, and you see that the conus in the middle, those who make in a new time Tesla coils, there are many builders of Tesla coils, but some of them and many of them, unfortunately I call it a habit, are doing it with cylindrical coils. Still not understanding the secret. All those who are doing with cylindrical coils do not understand the secret of the conical coil, but their coils work also, they multiply, but not efficiently, of course. Not so efficiently as if it were conical. Not as if it were conical. Plenty.
Principle of this generator is different. It's from static electricity.
There is no static electricity. We have explained that. There are only rings which compress and expand. Static electricity is mm. No, that is not the point to finish this part. We can discuss. I'm here and open. You can ask me, and I can share with you everything what I know, if you wish. And for the now, because it's a time almost 45 minutes, I thank you very much. And so it is, and we are building together new civilization based on knowledge. Thank you for being truth bringers. I love you.
Thank you.